The protests in Portland have actually been going on daily for nearly 2 months now, since the killing of George Floyd. But the deployment of federal agents was a sharp escalation of questionable legality. And yet, to hear the president tell it, he had no choice, and it was a terrific idea.
We're doing a great job in Portland. Portland was very rough, and they called us in, and we did a good job, to put it mildly. Many people in jail right now.
OK. First, it's never good when Trump says he's doing a great job, given that he thinks his administration is doing a great job dealing with the coronavirus, and he once proclaimed Ben Affleck would do a great job as Batman. Clearly, this man has no sense of what a great job actually looks like. And for the record, those agents were very much not called in. Oregon's governor quickly announced that she didn't want them there and that the federal government should remove them from our streets. And Portland's Mayor Ted Wheeler said pretty much the same.
What they're doing is they are sharply escalating the situation. They're not wanted here. We haven't asked them here. In fact, we want them to leave.
Yeah. Masked individuals throwing people into an unmarked van is never a good idea if you want to de-escalate a situation. It's not even a good idea for a surprise bachelorette party. Wow, you got me. I honestly thought I was being kidnapped there for a second. My life flashed before my eyes, and I think I may have shit myself, but you girls are the best. Bring on the strippers. And the reason federal agents were not called in might be that things weren't actually especially dire in Portland. Protests have been mostly peaceful there, which is not to say that there haven't been some isolated, chaotic incidents, although those situations have not been helped by the fact that the local police force, under the leadership of Ted Wheeler, incidentally, have routinely overreacted, using things like tear gas, to the point where Wheeler actually became known as Tear Gas Teddy, which I guarantee you is set to be this Christmas's worst-selling toy. And they have justified dangerous crowd control tactics by releasing photos like this, claiming they've been attacked with, among other things, a can of White Claw and a half-eaten apple, which is less a threatening display of weaponry and more of a summoning circle for ghosts who died on day 3 of Burning Man. And for all the talk by Trump and administration officials of the need to restore order in Portland, those on the ground will tell you it's not entirely what's being portrayed.
What we've noticed is that the volume that is being described by DHS and including administration officials doesn't seem to square with what's going on here on the ground. Yeah, you do have rioters, you do have people that are, trying to deface this building, but it's not as though this is overwhelming chaos. I mean, we're talking about one city block that's the epicenter here.
Exactly. It's about one block that was actually starting to see fewer confrontations between protesters and police before federal agents moved in. Or, if you watch Fox News, it's the end of America as we know it.
Damaged on multiple occasions. The Hatfield courthouse was firebombed. The U.S. Custom House was vandalized. Police were attacked with lasers. Several officers now assaulted with sledgehammers. Stores were broken into. Buildings were set on fire. This is insane.
Yeah, it is insane. Because that tone does not honestly reflect the conditions on the ground. That firebombing, for instance, seems to be a reference to either a firework or a small fire that was set, which is significantly less dramatic than he is trying to make it sound. And that rolling list next to Hannity's head is mostly graffiti. In fact, graffiti is listed 12 times in a row there under the headline Violence in Portland, which is a huge overstatement. And at that point, it would have been just as accurate if that heading had said cannibalism in Portland, or Texas Chainsaw Massacres in Portland, or 9/11s in Portland. Look, the troubling thing here is Portland seems to be being used as a staging ground by the president to put on an authoritarian show of force. And this could end very badly, especially as he's now apparently threatening to use federal force in other cities as well, which is absolutely outrageous. And if you, like Trump, think that it is fine to use federal troops as a prop to crush the constitutional right to assemble, then, like a great American, I would like to offer you a basic cognitive test, which is, how many fingers am I holding up? And now, this.